It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shake Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like big folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do your dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle Co. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do your dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle Co.
All right, good morning and welcome in here on this Thursday. Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Thursday. Christian's gonna head out to the Ponderosa at 9:30.
Oh,
Thursday.
I am.
Get some video of the Tigers as they have, I think, spring practice. It'll be number 5. On Thursday today at 9:50 is when they'll start. Christian will be out there getting some video. We'll make sure to get that posted to all you guys as we are live here from our Southern Regional Medical Center studios. Shout out to the crew here at SRMC, Charles, Jason, BJ, and Kev, the whole team here. I'm sure Chucky Sunshine will pop his head in at some point. But we appreciate them taking such good care of us as they house our show every single morning. And don't forget, we're also brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Go to the website, download the app. I'll open it up right now and see what pops up because there is Final Four basketball at both men's and women's hoops. You've got SEC baseball this weekend. And, of course, MLB baseball is getting underway. And you can slide over to the FanDuel Sportsbook app or the FanDuel website and see what they've got in store for you. Some profit boosts on all of those things to keep it interesting and to get you a little more invested in what you're watching. So make sure you gamble responsibly, but do it with our friends over at FanDuel as they bring you our show every single day. Lloyd, Christian, good morning. How are we doing?
Good morning.
Doing good?
Hello. Hi.
Y'all kind of match.
Oh, look at us.
Yep.
We both talked at the same time.
We both said good morning at the exact same time.
Yeah, I was wearing my Trades Green jersey.
So I think
It's playmaker.
I've deduced the black jersey just goes to the you're just different.
You're just
so
dangerous.
You're going to get to wear that one.
Yeah.
Like
If you didn't know.
Problem.
He's real good.
Right.
And he's pretty talented. No, because
If you have a problem with it, you take it from him.
Yeah, no, maybe. I thought it was interesting.
I really don't know what it means.
Me neither.
But he was out there running around.
I feel like that's got to be what it is. And maybe we'll find out. Maybe over the coming days there will be something said about what exactly that means. But of course, if you didn't see it, there's an awesome video on LSU Football's Twitter. We'll play it later on in the show for you. And when we get into the LSU football discussion prior to Chrissy heading over to the Ponderosa to see what they look like today, we'll also discuss what we want Chrissy to keep an eye on. He did a great job on Tuesday getting a look at the D-line. We talked about Civilian Green not being at practice. He was there. You now know what number Sam Levitt is, right? We set that in.
Wyatt said he also made the same mistake in his head, thinking he was like,
Here,
now.
I'll give you the roster for today.
I'm not going to look at it. I have the phone in my hand. So I can study it, though,
That's
actually.
okay.
I'll take it.
Keep it now. Nope.
No, yeah, I knew this was happening.
Never mind. Nope, you're good.
Oh.
But appreciate everybody getting in here this morning. Obviously, a lot going on around LSU. It's a busy, busy time around Louisiana State University athletics. We talked a lot about it throughout this week, but of course there's never a dull moment. And LSU's head baseball coach met with the media yesterday And there was a quote that caught a bit of traction and led to a bit of discourse around Jay Johnson, LSU baseball, maybe and what the future has in store. And so we will play that clip for you. If you didn't hear it, I'm assuming if you're tuned into this show, you heard that clip because it definitely caught the attention of a lot of people, and rightfully so. And then we'll obviously discuss what we got from it and what Lloyd and the Mic'd Up crew heard last night as Jay made sure to join them after that quote maybe caught a little bit of traction. Made sure to hop on the mic, talk to the fellas, maybe set a couple of things straight. What was it, before we play the clip, the vibe of Coach last night? How was he?
Clearly, I don't think I don't think he thought that would happen.
Yeah.
But that's a little surprising to me, considering where we are in the season. If anything, it probably felt more a bit revelatory of like, oh shit, people really do listen to what I say. Like my words have weight, which I would imagine he knows that in the team room, and he knows that for LSU baseball. But I don't think he thought that this would pick up as much bluster as it did. And it's because it shows how much LSU fans, maybe not the administration side so much right now, but LSU fans care about LSU baseball because it is a staple of what this university is. And then you have, and also, this might even be the bigger thing because of, it's not like he said he was leaving. He said, like, never say never, essentially. Right. And I think that was the first time people realized, like, you almost been spoiled by Jay in a way.
Taking him for granted.
Because he comes in, he wasn't on anybody's list to be able to be the next LSU baseball head coach. And he's like, I was perfectly fine. Like, I didn't think I'd be on that list either. I thought I'd spend my years out at Arizona, and that was fine with me. I thought that was the best job I'd ever get, and I loved it. This job happens, I'm on a plane 2 days later, and now I'm in Baton Rouge.
Right.
But I think because of the success he had early, wins 2 national championships, and the way he's talked about LSU, and it's like literally my dream job. It's the New York Yankees of college baseball. Like, I don't know where else would I go, right? It's always been, he's always doubled down on staying at LSU, and it felt like he would never leave, right? Then kind of, I want to say, I guess out of the blue, he went out of his way to mention something like this because they asked about Tony Vitello. Obviously, you're playing Tennessee, and then it kind of gets spun up into, it's very apparent that Major League Baseball teams have talked to him. Like, he didn't want to say it that way, but he hasn't maybe been offered anything, but they've definitely gauged his interest. That's what I got from that quote.
Some feelers, some floaters.
Yes, and so I think that was all kind of caught up in this whole thing of people realizing, like, the attendance went off, like, went up. It's like, oh, shit, he would leave? Because it felt like, that's what I say, that they've taken him for granted, as they never thought he would go anywhere.
Yeah.
But when Jay Johnson speaks, you should listen because this is a layered conversation that he's having, and if you can read between the lines a little bit, you know what he's asking for.
Yeah. And
he's a very smart man. This is a very public play, and I suggest if you're LSU,
you
listen. This is a man that, if he continues to play, he's smarter than you.
Yeah.
If he continues to play the game publicly, you're going to get embarrassed. And he will probably, if it has to, make a decision that is very uncomfortable.
Yeah. And here he is. This is the quote from yesterday. John Eads, obviously, like we said, does a great job reporting LSU baseball. He got the soundbite posted from yesterday's press conference. This is Jay Johnson. After he was asked about Tony Vitello as they're getting ready for Tennessee. Obviously, Vitello no longer with the Volunteers. He is in San Francisco with the Giants as an MLB manager. So here is Jay and his response to the Tony V question.
In that at this time. Now, that's at this time. You know, I haven't been offered an MLB job, is what I'll say. I'm fully into this, and there's a lot that we need to do to be the best we can be, and I want to be the best program in the country forever. So I think it's cool. I think it's awesome. I'm following it. closely. I mean, that was my team. I'm from Northern California anyways. So it's a score you check, if you turn on ESPN.com. I'm very interested to see how it goes. It's a completely different game though. It's a different world. If people think college football and the NFL are different, like that and this and what goes on, it's the moon. Because I don't know, I'm sure NFL teams have this too, but like the Ivy League has taken over baseball, and the general manager, the Ivy League guys at the top, a lot of times make the lineup, make the pitching decisions, this and that. And you can ask Jake Brown how Coach Johnson would feel if somebody was telling him what lineup we were playing. So.
Look, I think it's not a secret. It's not, I know it's been floated around and discussed in certain areas and people on social media. And I've even heard the conversations in Alec Box of the money conversation, right? With what LSU has done over the last handful of months, you start to look at things differently through a different lens, from a different POV of, okay, they're spending 200, 300, however many millions on football and men's basketball, and they're going to invest those money in those places. And with rev share, there's the split. Obviously, majority goes to football, then it's men's basketball. Those are your two revenue, those profitable sports. Well, then there's women's basketball, and then baseball gets grouped in with the ancillary, right? And that's no disrespect to the other sports, but there's a big three. It's football, basketball, and baseball, basketball being men's and women's. And baseball is not included in those top three main percentiles. And that wasn't a secret. It's not a secret. And whenever the first revenue sharing article came out of this is how it breaks down, the first reaction was, well, Kim Mulkey and Jay Johnson aren't going to like this, right? They're not going to like the way this is broken down because they are the national championship programs in addition to gymnastics and track and field on this campus. Baseball is the most successful program on campus overall, but even just in the last 5 years, baseball is your shining jewel over the last half of a decade. And that's because Jay Johnson's brought home 2 national championships. So I don't think there's any surprise that there's maybe a bit of feeling of slight towards the fact that there's a lot of money being spent elsewhere. And the respect isn't maybe shared. And I think ultimately when these things start to happen, when money gets spent, right? Think about it, if you're a parent or you're a child and there's a lot of money being spent on the oldest and the youngest, but the middle child doesn't really get the same fair share, right? Well, then that kid might be like, well, I feel like I should be getting a little bit more respect than I am. Because $200 million, there's $200 million to spend over here on firings and hirings, but I'm delivering national championships and can't get a little extra scratch on top to make sure I can deliver again.
He's getting punished for his success.
And it's not just a pay to get the better player. There's a proven product, right? In 4 years, you've got 2 rings, and there's a proven product, and to do that, you got to have, and like I said it ad nauseum for the last 20, 30 minutes of the show yesterday, if you want to be legitimate in college athletics, you have to be able to pay for players. And now, there's no Jordan Seaton, Sam Levitt, $6 million, $5 million, $4 million players in college baseball. The money works extremely differently, which is why you don't need $17 million for baseball. But there are other college programs and athletic programs that give a little bit of a bigger cut to baseball because they take it a little more serious. And when I heard that answer yesterday, it was very obvious an acknowledgement and an announcement, a statement even. Because look, Jay Johnson loves LSU. Lloyd said it. I mean, this is his dream. This is the pinnacle. This is as big and as good as it gets. But
in college.
I've delivered. And as much as this might be my dream relationship, if I'm not being respected, I might just need to get out of it. And so I'm going to give you the opportunity to right some wrongs and get in line, or these things may happen. These dominoes may fall. And look, LSU should do everything in their power to keep Jay Johnson in Baton Rouge, to make sure that baseball program is taken care of, because football is king, right? 100%. LSU baseball is the pinnacle of that sport. It's a dynasty, and you have a dynasty on your hands. You've lived one. You've had one. There was a break between. You still were able to rattle off a win there in 2009. And you have a dynasty on your hands, sitting in front of you, staring you in the eyes, as he's put together two very different teams within the span of 3 years that bring home trophies and rings and add 2 more years to the Intimidator. And I was surprised yesterday to hear that answer. Because, like I said, I don't think it's any secret. There's been a lot of discourse and maybe some murmurs about some other jobs in college baseball, or pressure to give Jay Johnson the respect he does deserve. Of course, there's been the whispers and the murmurs around the fan base and via social media. But now he's gone on the microphone in a press conference and said something very clear. I don't think anyone listened to that and didn't understand what he was saying. He wants to be in Baton Rouge. He wants to be this is his dream job. He's in his dream relationship, but if you don't respect him back, then it's not really beneficial, and maybe there's something out there for me. But at the same time, I'll let you know and I'll give you the chance to get it right. And LSU athletics, look, it's a crazy time in the sport, especially. This is kind of the pinnacle of this new era of college athletics, has become LSU. LSU's become the poster child for this new era of college athletics with NIL and all of the things where they've spent the money here and invested it in football to make these moves, and then now men's basketball to make these moves. But while all these things are happening and these things are changing, you've got a constant right there in Alec Box Stadium. It's a national championship program. And I said it yesterday, when the money starts to move the way it's been moving around Baton Rouge, Louisiana, there are going to be a lot of dominoes that are going to start to fall. A lot of things will begin to happen, because ultimately there are the conversations, the questions. Can you be good at everything? Well, I think so. Do you have enough money to spend to be at the top of everything? And as of right now, they've shown the ability to raise the money and invest it into football. And then they've doubled down on it. They've shown the ability and the money to be able to invest it in men's basketball. And there's been a lot of money invested in those two entities over the last couple of months. But then that leaves some other programs on campus going, what do I get? I got 2 rings on my hand. My office, I post up, see these 2 folders. In Jay Johnson's office, they're national championship trophies. And so it was bound to happen at some point, because there's only so much money to go around. And that's both rev sharing and NIL. And so it's gonna be very interesting to see how this plays out for LSU. Because look, they've announced that they want football and men's basketball to be extremely successful. And to me, that's good business, because those are the 2 sports that bring in the money, that you are making a profit off of. That is good business, to spend the money to make the money. But at the same time, You have other sports who are national championship programs on your campus that need a little bit of it too. Need some love because they've proven, especially LSU baseball has proven to be a winner. And you are staring a dynasty in the face. And I think it's going to be very, very intriguing to sit and watch how this plays out. Because, and like I said, Jay Johnson wants to be here. LSU and Jay Johnson is a perfect marriage. And that picture right there says it all. It's a perfect marriage. LSU, Jay Johnson should be LSU's head baseball coach forever. And he wants to be. But it's got to be mutually beneficial. It's got to be respected.
Well, because imagine being Jay, whenever you go, look, LSU baseball is the pinnacle of the sport, right? Like what Skip did will never be duplicated, and if anybody could do it, it would be Jay, right? Like that LSU has set the standard of what college baseball has become. College baseball is now extremely popular again because LSU ran away, took the baton and just kept going, and nobody was chasing them. College baseball has gotten to the point because of how Major League Baseball has worked that now it's more competitive, and some of it is NIL, and that's cool. But then the rev share came along, and you were told where you sit on the totem pole. And if I'm Jay Johnson, I'm looking around and going, okay, I understand football. I understand how this is working because they were quicker to the table. I didn't ask for anything. I was new, right? I get here. I'm going to let my work speak for itself.
Yeah.
In 5 years, I won you 2 national championships. 2 out of the last 3 years, I've won you a national championship. Okay? Should I even have to ask? That's what my thinking would be. What do? You reward performance.
Right.
And you would think that, oh, okay, he's doing the best job of anybody in the country at his job. So, if we want to continue to see that, maybe we should foster it and give it whatever. If he needs something, he should get it. And he shouldn't even really have to ask. But when he does and he gets told, you're over here with the rec sports. Like, am I? Okay. Y'all saw what it was when I wasn't here. You got one.
I think it's one thing for fans to be spoiled when it comes to LSU baseball. And, like, you see 2 national championships in Jay's 4 years. I think that's pretty impressive. And I think people become complacent in the fan base. For the administration to become complacent and think that Jay might not need as much money as some of the other programs because the other programs might be struggling more than the baseball program, I mean, that's stupid. That's idiotic. That's not even like you're stupid for thinking that.
Well, and that's where this conversation goes because if I'm Jay, I'm looking at it, you're rewarding poor performance.
Exactly.
And it's like, but I'm not getting anything for good performance.
I'm spoiling you.
Right. And it's become because of how good he's been and how great he is at his job, it's become, I don't think he needs anything because he can do it without it. And it's like, well, no, now that RevShare is here, you're seeing other schools in the SEC literally commit to putting money into the baseball program because you talk about LSU trying to be good at everything. Other schools have punted on other sports. Like, we don't care.
Mississippi State outspent us in baseball.
Yeah, that a lot of teams outspent LSU in baseball. And that's the problem is LSU will always be able to compete whenever you have Jay that's going to be able to construct a roster. But whenever you start having conversation and it's, I can give you 40 versus Mississippi State saying, I can give you 120 right now. And it's like, what do you want me to do? Like at some point, they're just going to say, Tennessee, nice facility. Mississippi State, very nice facility. Texas A&M, very nice facility. LSU was they haven't updated that thing in a minute. And that's where LSU used to be in baseball. You were the forefront of what you were trying to do in the sport. You were the first one to build a stadium that looked like that. You were always taking care of baseball. Now, you get to a point where, like I said, you're looking around and you go, LSU football just got $200 million, and you're writing articles and donors are saying, why not give them $40 million? And then you look again to your left and, they're paying another coach to leave, and they're bringing in another coach, and he wants $15 million in his first year. Okay? I'm asking for 3. and I can't get it?
I need this one player. I need two players,
Yeah,
more players.
But you know how frustrating that is when I've been like, now I'm the big dog. Like, I've been here the longest, and I don't get heard. Of course I'm going to be able to go up and say, like, you don't think I can get other jobs? Don't mistake my kindness for weakness. And that's where you put yourself in that position. And it did not fall on deaf ears in terms of the fan base, like Christian said. You saw the call to arms. Mm-hmm. They will. And we did this for, like, whenever we talked about it yesterday, whatever, like, the whole, how do you even donate? Because LSU did a poor job of explaining it to where Jack Ballard was the one that figured it out the fastest. And now you're having to do the same thing with, like, where do you donate for baseball? People don't even know where to go. There's one that you can donate for if they win, they get money. He's on a performance-based donation contract. Like, I'm sure Jay said, sure, I'll win 60 games. Okay, but it shouldn't be that difficult if you want the fans to give money. But they hide it. It's impossible to find. And it's a testament to what LSU baseball is because the community is going to do it and find it. And when they say, who do I donate it to? Jay Johnson said, make it out to LSU baseball. And then when donors call and they say, who do I talk to? Jay Johnson gives them his phone number. Like, that's how much he cares about this thing, and that's how much he doesn't want to see it get caught up in the LSU athletics. Give it to me. I know if you want to give it to LSU baseball, I know where that's going. And to me, I'll figure it out from there. That's what I want to happen to because I'm in charge of this whole thing, and I don't think he really wants the administration around him. Like, he doesn't know who these people are. It was very much aligned to do things that put baseball on the back burner at this point. You have to make football good. I get that. And they wanted basketball to be great. And that's how you make money. I understand it. But don't sacrifice kind of what your brand is to an extent for a middling baseball team because you don't feel like, I don't know if they deserve it.
It'll be very interesting to watch unfold in the coming days because I think the LSU athletic administration and LSU administration in general has been applauded, and rightfully so for the way things have played out over the last couple of months and the way they've handled things and put the football and basketball programs back in a position to be successful as LSU baseball has been, right? Like I said, there have been some rocky years for these other sports. LSU baseball has been the constant. They've won 2 national championships in a 3-year window.
What would the LSU brand be if that didn't happen?
Right. And so I think the LSU athletic administration has done a good job and has been applauded for the way they've handled things and gotten the job done. Verge Osbury specifically. I mean, closing the deal on a Lane Kiffin and a Will Wade in a span of 6 months is huge, and they deserve to be applauded for it. But now there is another assignment that lays ahead. There's another situation that sits in front of you. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how LSU athletic administration handles it. Because I think it is extremely important to keep Jay Johnson in Baton Rouge and to keep the baseball program what it's always been. I mean, this is, like I said, football has had these. And baseball's taken, like I said, between Skip and Jay during the Pulmonary era, they were still very good. Won a national championship, made it to another one and lost, but they were still very good. And I mean, and there were some teams that were, I mean, like I said, the 2009, 2017, both of those teams, elite. And so LSU baseball has been the class for 3 decades. When did Skip win his first one? 91 was the first one? They started making it in the
years?
80s. So, I mean, we'll say 40 years it's been the class of LSU athletics. You know, football won one in 58 and then
disappeared.
Then started, 2003, 2007, made it 2011, 2019.
LSU
right?
basketball for a minute.
And,
Final Fours.
Right.
LSU baseball wins championships.
Chips.
And
8.
I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this all plays out from an LSU athletic administration point.
Last thing, I think, Lloyd, you mentioned this as well. It's important to keep baseball rolling the way it is because as we have seen over the last 3 years since LSU has won in 23, the viewership numbers in the College World Series has only increased. more people are flocking to not LSU baseball, but college baseball in general more than they have ever before. This sport is probably one of the fastest growing in college athletics, and for us to now waver on LSU baseball, which has won 2 in 3 years. I mean, I don't know. I can't put into words how stupid that is, but that needs to change.
Now was not the time to jump off of the ship.
Exactly.
Because I agree. You've seen since Jay Johnson's been here and we've been able to watch regional baseball, super regional baseball, Omaha, you've seen how this sport has absolutely taken off. Like, the numbers don't lie. At some point, this thing will be able to flip a profit. You're $1 million away?
You broke even in 23, they said? Someone said that?
It was $900,000 this last year.
Right. And that's not that big of a loss considering nobody else nobody's giving, that's damn near close to making money as anybody is in college baseball.
Yeah.
And I understand that, look, these TV contracts are coming for college baseball. They're going to be there because it's a sleeping giant. It's the same thing that you saw with college football, just on a baseball scale, because they looked around, they saw, people watch this? Because it's an old way of thinking of people only watch professional sports.
Right.
Like, that is obviously going to be the first thing that TV goes after. They want to have NFL football games, and they want Major League Baseball playoff games and NBA playoff games. But the way that they make their money is Major League Baseball is on TV every day. NBA is on TV every night. College baseball plays 4 games a week. If you find a way to be able to get that on television, cable, then there's no reason it shouldn't make money, because it really is becoming a thing that people tune into. And we stayed there from what? And I know we're sick, but we were there from what, 7?
No, and this
to 12.
And I'll speak from my personal standpoint is.
You weren't a baseball guy.
I was on the phone with my aunt last night, my Aunt Becca, and she has always been football, baseball. She took me to baseball games when I was younger and through. I think I went to 2 through high school. Ultimately, like, did not go to many baseball games. She asked me a couple of times. I was like, sure, yeah, I'll pop in Alley Box and watch a baseball game. But I didn't go to them, right? And I was on the phone with her last night, and she asked if I had stayed for the entire game on Tuesday, and I was like, yeah. She was like, how many games have you gone to this year? I was like, almost all of them. Mm-hmm. I was like, I've been to like every midweek game almost, and I've made it to at least one game of each home weekend series. That is what Jay Johnson has created. I did not go to baseball games. I'm not a baseball guy.
You are now.
But when you win... It just changed. I've always enjoyed baseball, but I just
and Jay Johnson is that
just wasn't my thing. But you build something and you win, and you create an emotional investment. So now I'm emotionally invested in it. So now I will be there to watch. And
I don't think you ever saw yourself for one single second.
No, her response last night to me was, I would have never guessed.
Uh-huh.
She was like, I can't believe what I was like. I know. I was like, I've been to almost every game.
Not only that, I don't think you could have told a high school Noah that he's going to be the one pushing the envelope to we're staying in Omaha. Like, you didn't want to leave. Yeah, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, all right, I'm in.
I gotta book a plane to come back. No, I'm going to stay. And it's because you've built a winner. You've built a program that is a dynasty right there in front of you. And that's where, in my opinion, because the money thing makes this all very murky and messy. From profits and revenues and sharing and all of it, it can all get very messy. To me, baseball is a proven winner. National championship winner. And that's really where the conversation ends. And I think they've made a investment and a decision to push for football and men's basketball, and I agree with it because from a business standpoint, it's smart. Those two bring in a profit. They are also, personally, my 2 favorite sports. So I'm never gonna push back against it because those are the 2 I love the most. And also business-wise, it makes sense. But at the same time, I love watching banners get hung and rings get put on fingers, and that happens with LSU baseball.
Soon enough, like Lloyd
and,
said, it'll
and,
make a profit.
And with Jay Johnson, that's the thing. You're not gambling on Jay. You're not betting on Jay. When you hired him in 22, you were betting on him. In 2026, you're not gambling on Jay Johnson. You're investing in a proven winner. You're investing in something works. And like I said, I understand that with money, it can get very messy. And things can... I don't feel like you have to pick between men's basketball and LSU baseball. I don't feel like you have to pick between the two. It's about reorganizing the way the pie is cut. Because the money is there. Those two are making the money. You're making an investment for them to do what? To make more money, right? Because they both turned out a profit when they win a combined what? Basketball won 14 games and football won 7. They won 21 games out of 40-something combined, and they turned a profit. Okay, so now what you do is you invest to make them a winner so that they bring in more money. And with more money, the conversation should be easier on slicing the pie maybe a little bit differently.
Well, and my thing is, it goes back to the same thing that Jay is seeing happening. What LSU was spending all of this money, right? Like you've seen it happen with the buyouts for coaches to leave, the investment you've put into being able to pay players, and all of a sudden when I come to the table, we don't have enough. How does that work? Like, because whenever you think about funding a college baseball team, it is literal peanuts to what you're putting into football. And so I'm not asking for a whole lot. I'm not saying I need $40 million to build a roster. I'm saying I need 3.
I need Jordan Seaton.
Right, and that gets me 9. That's the frustrating part is you don't need to make this massive investment of, man, we really got to. You can check the couch cushions and find enough money for Jay Johnson, but you're not even looking. And for him to have to go and do this is
right.
It should raise it. Like I said, your antennas should be up because this is a power play of. Maybe I wasn't offered a managerial job in Major League Baseball, but I probably told maybe it's because I didn't really ask. And if I start gauging interest for what Major League Baseball wants to do, somebody will hire him.
Yeah, there hasn't been an offer yet, but if it's known that there's interest, the offer will be made. And I think, I think where this
currently
stands.
Thank God he didn't coach Team USA.
Right. I think where it currently stands,
it won.
It would have.
LSU Athletic Administration has been applauded for the job that they've done over the last couple of months. And like I said, rightfully so. They've done a very good job at putting 2 programs, the 2 profitable programs, getting them out of a bad spot and put them in a spot to be successful. They've done a great job there. There is now another assignment on the table. And I think it's a very simple one. It's very easy. When they hand the test out, it's a very easy one to pass. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of how it plays out over the next couple of days. Not days, weeks, months. I don't know how it'll draw out, but I know when you get into next offseason, that's when these things start to pick up. I mean, think about what we're about to embark on starting on Monday. LSU men's basketball transfer, the men's basketball transfer portal opens up. Women's basketball portal opens up. And you're going to sit back and you're going to witness what they do there. And so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this goes, because LSU has always been known to drop the ball in certain cases. They could have had name the coach. It was surprising when they were able to close the deal on Lane Kiffin because it just never worked out the way it was supposed to. Now 2 for 2, it's worked out the way you anticipated, and LSU's never been able to pull that off. Now you've got to get this job done, this deal done, and it's going to be very, very intriguing to watch. And you see it right here. NBA Tiger Boy posted it. The Coaches Committee Baseball Booster Club. As fans, we can invest. It came up with football at a very, very different time when football needed numbers to be successful after missing on the number one quarterback in the country, and the investment was made. And I think what happened yesterday, what transpired yesterday in that press conference, the fan base responded, the fan base heard it, the fan base made it known where they stand, and it'll be very, very interesting to see how it plays out.
Well, if it's anything other than Jay Johnson staying and getting what he wants, then it's a massive failure. There's no two bones about it.
No,
This is
I'm
a
not
pass-fail
disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing. That's what I said. This is an exam being put on the table, and it's not a difficult one to pass because you have the answer. It's a little more scratch for your national championship program.
Two-time.
Your dynasty that awaits. I mean, that place, the Alec box gets packed. It is a dynasty awaiting, and you got to make sure you hold on to it. Jay Johnson should not be anywhere other than Baton Rouge, and that needs to make sure that it gets done. And so I'll ask you, Lloyd, what was your feelings listening to Jay talk last night on Mic'd Up? I tuned in, I listened. When you heard him respond to it, obviously it get brought up in the interview space. What were your thoughts on his comments and his response?
Outside of this topic, he was in great spirits, first of all. Like, was laughing at himself because we brought up the Kentucky series, and he goes, oh, God. Because you kind of forget after that press conference, because there was a lot to talk about the Kentucky series, how Saturday and Sunday transpired, and I played the John Eads video for him, and he was like, oh, Jesus Christ, because it looks so much worse when I watch it back. Because he's like, I don't look at any of this stuff, you know? And then he goes, I did see this one quite a bit, though, because he had Jake Brown in the clubhouse. They pulled it up and showed him the video, and he's like, oh, my God, I look like an asshole. And then he had his brother called him, and like his brother-in-law called him on FaceTime. He's like, what happened, dude? He's like, we were playing so bad, and he's like, I wanted to get in my car and go home. And so I was like, I'm either getting thrown out or I'm gonna inspire somebody today. And he's like, I felt like Bobby Hurley. Like, I didn't know what else to do. I lost my mind. I was trying to, not even really trying to do anything other than express how I was feeling at the time. And he's like, I just lost my mind. And he's like, I can't. It goes, it worked because I forgot. Oh, it was Cooper Williams. I was like, keep doing this. Like, how you're at. Like, he's like, I know it's working right now. It's like, this isn't sustainable. I can't coach like this. I'll die. Like, I can't coach every game like this. I have too much shit to do. But it was at that moment very needed. It was good to see that version of Jay Johnson as opposed to this, because that's taken up a lot of my mental health at this point. But the way that if you want to take some sense of confidence that this will get figured out, it's how Jay kind of responded to it when we talked about it with him on Mic'd Up. It was, I didn't think much of what I said because people forget everything I said after that, because that was the one thing that got people's attention. Right. He's like, I said I want to be here forever. Was that lost when following deaf ears of how much I said I love this job and how much I want to be here and all of those things? But yeah, that's all a little bit cast aside because you said the one thing that became the main thing. That was what got people's attention, as it should have, because I do think that was a very calculated message to be sent to those that needed to hear it. Yeah. But other than that, I do think he's good. I do think you have time, but I don't think you should take the time.
Yep. No, it'll be interesting to see how they get it figured out, because they need to.
I don't think
as I go ahead.
I'd just say it shouldn't be interesting, right? Should this not be okay? Whoa.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying, from my opinion, that it should be interesting, but I'm saying it will be, because you're gonna figure out where.
If they just ignore this,
you're gonna figure out where priorities lie. Because are you saying it's not possible that they might look at it and go, again, we don't have the money to invest in this or don't want to spend the money here and rather than spending it here? Like it is possible for it to play out more than just the right way. Now, I believe it will. I want it to, but I'm just saying we're going to sit back and witness the way LSU athletics decides to go about this. And I don't believe it should be interesting. I think it should be very simple, cut and dry. But at the same time, it could be interesting the way it plays out. I didn't think it would ever get to this point.
Right.
So who's to know the next level that it can go, Because I think what you've seen announced is football and men's basketball have to be good, have to be successful. They make the money. We're going to invest it to make more. And personally, I agree with that.
Yeah, 1000%.
Because it's good business. And like I said, as Noah Tingle, those are my two favorite sports. And so I personally would love for them to be very good because those are the ones. But at the same time, I love baseball, and baseball is a national champion twice in the last 3 years and should continue to do that. And I think you shouldn't have to pick just one. But that doesn't mean they won't.
Yeah, my thing is just that if they all cost $40 million to do, I would understand
right.
the
No, but they don't. No, I agree.
And so it's really...
And you shouldn't have to spend $40 million every offseason, right? The $40 million was understandable for this one. And maybe for men's basketball, it might have to be 15 or 16 for this one.
And I understand the investment.
Because it's the opening. But and then over time, that 40 will drop a little bit because you won't need to bring in 40 players. You only need to bring in 20. And for basketball, you won't need to bring in 15 players. You only need to bring in 6, right? The dynamics drop. And so, but at the same time, you got to decide what's worth. The last administration, the last front office of LSU athletics wanted to invest in women's basketball, was very, very focused on it. You've now seen it transpire at Rutgers, where Tate ends up there, brings in with him, and now they are making an investment into that sport. There's a new athletic administration. That's another piece of this whole conversation we haven't even brought up is where do they lie? How does that get handled now that the people up top have changed? People in charge make the decisions on where they want things to be spent. And I think LSU baseball will get the nod. I don't think it's a very difficult decision to have whatsoever. I think you find a way to keep Jay Johnson here as long as possible. I think it's relatively simple to pull it off. Mm-hmm. And I think that, and ultimately, I do think they will. Because up to this point, they've gotten a lot of things right in the way they've handled these different situations, from Kiffin or from Kelly to Kiffin to now getting Will Wade back. They've done an excellent job and applaud them for it. This is the next assignment on the table. I think it's very simple and easy for them to get it taken care of, and I think that they will. And with that being said, LSU baseball is still mid-season. Yesterday's press conference was not for this. Yesterday's press conference was because they play Tennessee this weekend. They head out to Knoxville and play Tennessee tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, Easter weekend. Will have some LSU versus Tennessee flavor. And it'll look a little different than the past couple of years. Because this, funny enough, you're going into this game, neither of these two teams are ranked. Who would have thought? Who would have looked at this game preseason and gone, neither LSU nor Tennessee are in the top 25 before they face off in Knoxville? But they aren't. They're two teams that are looking to right the ship and get back right, and I think LSU has started to find a stride as they've won 3 in a row, 2 against Kentucky, and then coming back and beating Southern after the rain delay. And we will make sure to talk about it in about 5 minutes with Jason Armstrong as he'll join to discuss LSU's series against Tennessee this weekend. We'll obviously look back at the 2 out of 3 they took against Kentucky, winning on Saturday and Sunday, as well as the comeback win this past Tuesday prior to breaking down what to anticipate from Knoxville. As you see in the chat, Cajun Curveball is there. He is on the road and made it to headed to Knoxville. Just pulling into, he said. $2 super chat, Cajun Curveball, ready. Just pulling into Knoxville, boys. Let's freaking go. There you go. Cajun curveball in Knoxville, holding it down for the Tigers. And he now, $5 super chat from Cajun curveball. 5 claps. Ready. Baseball is the most decorated program at LSU otherwise than track and field. Give it money. End of convo right there. No more discussion. I do not disagree. And it'll play out right in front of us, I think, this offseason. I think, like I said, it'll be a very, very easy assignment to pass. But we will have Jason Armstrong at 9 a.m. this morning join us to talk LSU versus Tennessee, LSU baseball. Heavy show here on this Thursday. We'll obviously get into some football stuff in the second hour after we talk to Jason as well, because Christian will head out to the Ponderosa to get some video of the LSU football program, practice number 5 here on this Thursday. And I'll ask Lloyd, chat, is there something specific we would like to assign Chrissy with for practice today? Something specific to put an eye on.
For context, I usually get running backs close to me.
Yep.
I get defensive line close to me. Offensive line's far away. I get and defensive backs are close to me. Linebackers are kind of right in that middle area, and then quarterbacks are also somewhat close to me.
If I was going to choose one that I would like you to be focused on, obviously I want you to get the 11 on 11, get a look at a lot of different things. Wide receivers I would love a good look at. I know they're maybe a little bit more difficult to get because running backs come.
They're not the farthest away, but they are a little far.
But I would like to get a look at the wide receivers because that's a room that's got a lot of discussion. A lot of new faces, one returner there. So,
unfamiliar names in that room.
There are for sure. And so I think I'd like a good look at the wide receivers in today's video. Obviously, defensive line last time. If you missed that, go check it out on our YouTube. Lloyd, you agree with the wide receiver decision?
I do. I feel like it's the room with probably the most names to learn.
100%. I mean, I'll pull out the roster now. Jace Brown, Trey Brown, Eugene Wilson III, who got out to his first practice. Trey Wilson from he was the guy from Florida. Eugene Wilson III, who made it to his first practice on Tuesday. Jackson Harris from Hawaii. You've got Winnie Watkins Jr. Let's see, go down the list
Phillip
here.
Wright's on there.
Phillip Wright. There you see Philly.
Stud freshman Jabari Mack.
And Jabari Mack, obviously, very, very impressive catch that he made. You get to these other wide receivers here. Roman Mothershed, Corey Barber Jr., Tyree Holloway, Josh Jackson, Jabari Mack,
Najor Granger.
Malik Elzy, Najor Granger, yes. So there's plenty of wide receivers we're going to look at. We're going to look at them today as Chrissy heads out to the Ponderosa. And thank you, Christian, for working so hard.
What time does it start?
Buddy Sanji gave you a shout out when I was on the interview. Yeah, he said.
I told him hi.
He said C-Man was out there.
Let's go.
At practice. He said C-Man.
I forgot about C-Man.
He said it himself.
I like Chrissy better.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. Buddy Sanji knows just C-Man.
Yeah, Minnie can work too.
And so he gave you a little shout out when I did the interview on what was that, Tuesday? And so he gave
Tip of his cock.
He gave plenty of LC shout outs as he loves LC. He's my man.
I care about LC.
I care about LC. But he brought up Christian. He said he appreciates how hard we work. And Christian, you were grouped in that shout out. But we'll take a quick break here. We'll come right back and we'll open up hour number 2 with Jason Armstrong of Inside LSU Baseball, getting you ready for the Tigers versus the Volunteers in Knoxville starting tomorrow evening.
Wardos was created in honor of Alan Ward Granning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country. Hey
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Branding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff.
Where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or a storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
All right, welcome back here as we open up hour number 2 on this Thursday morning. We appreciate all of you spending your mornings with us as we are live from our Southern Regional Medical Center studios every single day. We'll continue the LSU baseball conversation. Baseball heavy show today as the Tigers are headed to Knoxville, and we'll talk to Jason Armstrong of Inside LSU Baseball. Jason, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Oh, we're doing all right over here. Obviously, LSU baseball finally seeming to find somewhat of a stride as they've won their last 3. But before we get into the actual baseball aspect of things, talking about Kentucky, Southern, and then, of course, Tennessee, I want to ask you your thoughts on yesterday's comments from Jay Johnson that obviously have taken the social media waves by storm, him discussing Tony V, the MLB, and potentially maybe a future job.
Yeah, I mean, look, you'd like to hear him, like a follow-up maybe, and you'd like to hear him say, hey, listen, I'm not going anywhere for a while. Like, that would make us feel all warm and fuzzy. But I think he answered it how we want coaches to answer, because we get really upset with coaches when they say one thing and do something else. And right. I think the fact that he's saying, look, this is not something that right now, no, I'm not going to say never. I think that's just the honest way, because you really do. You never know. what could happen down the road. And so, but again, like nobody wants to hear anything like that. That there's a possibility that he could ever leave. But I think maybe there'll be chances to either double down or like there'll be more questions in the coming weeks. And hopefully he can make everybody just feel a little bit more secure that he's not going anywhere for a very long time.
I completely agree because this past weekend he put on a clinic himself, and I'll ask you your thoughts on the emotions that Jay obviously showed this past weekend. As it was a very emotional weekend of baseball, and Nate Yeske obviously got into it at one point, and then Jay, of course, and Nick Mangione of Kentucky getting into it on Sunday, and what was like I said, a heated emotional series that LSU ends up winning. What were your thoughts on maybe the emotions and the extracurriculars around this past weekend series?
Yeah, that's just one of those things, man. Like Kentucky draws that out of you. They're one of those teams that seems to always be in these emotional games. I mean, just the way that they play gets under people's skin, and it's just kind of one of those things, man. Like, so I don't mind it. I mean, LSU's never been one of these teams that you see like a lot of bad sportsmanship. I mean, like outside of maybe like the Bear Jones 2023 homer against Kentucky, where they got him on camera barking at the pitcher. You just don't see a lot. It's a bunch of good dudes, and so that's not like something they do. That's why I'm not bothered by the bat flip. That was awesome. That was a great moment, and it's just you got to look at the team, and that's just not how LSU plays. They don't show a ton of emotion, so it was good because this was a very important series, and I think that just kind of we saw that. We saw by the way that. Anytime you have to come back like that, and there's these emotional ups and downs, that can come out of you. So I thought it was great. It was what the team needed, and look, it worked.
And then obviously to stick on the Kentucky series for just a moment, your thoughts on. I'll leave it to Sunday specifically. Obviously, I thought Schmidt looked good on Saturday, and they were able to do a great job at keeping Kentucky quiet and winning that game. But Sunday, they go out there, and the first time a weekend without having all three of their starters, with Cooper Moore being out, they go out there on Sunday and they go with Gavin Guidry on the bump. Ended up having some key guys out of the pen step up. What were your thoughts on the way to get the job done and win that series on Sunday against Kentucky?
Yeah, I mean, look, man, it was great to get the win. I thought it was great to fight back because for a while this team seemed like, man, like down 3 runs, 4 runs, like this offense is just not coming back from that. But like even since conference started, they're showing the ability to put up big innings. And they are showing that they can fight back from early deficits. I would hesitate to get down on Gavin Guidry too much, and I'll tell you why. I hated the fact that he started that game. I hated it. I think Gavin Guidry is most effective for like 3 outs, maybe 4 outs, because when we see him really shine, he comes in the game and he's like 95. Like he's never been like that. Okay, even up to 96. But then what happens? Inning or two later, he's down to 91, 92. That also means that the slider that was 88 is now down to 84. They've got more time to react. And so I love Gavin Guidry as like an 8th inning setup man, or even like the 9th inning, just let him close it. And you might say, well, he's blown some saves in the 9th. Yeah, but that was like his 3rd inning. All right. So I would hesitate for people just to kind of be down on Gavin Guidry because I think he is nasty following, a hard thrower or a lefty and coming in with the way he pitches. And it's like a lot of these guys, man, you can tell really early if they're not like if Casey Evans isn't landing his changeup, he's in trouble. If Gavin Guidry's not landing his slider, he's in trouble. And they might work through it, but both times they got so much so fast that they didn't, things kind of blew up. But look, it was great. It was a great win. I thought it was an important win. I think it really changed the landscape because if you're going into Tennessee with that would have been a 4th straight losing weekend. I think that's a lot different. And look, it's one game, and I get it. And I know the national media is still really down on LSU, and not a believer yet. But I actually am. I like this pitching staff right now, and I know we'll get more into that. But yeah, it was a great win.
And like you said, obviously they have to come back from down 7-0 in that game, and then they follow that up on Tuesday, having to come back from a 6-1 deficit against Southern. But they swung the bat extremely well, and they were able to get the home runs to get the ball to leave the park. Milam hits 2, Curiel with a huge grand slam. John Pearson turns on 1 as well. In addition to he had a big one over the weekend also. What are your thoughts on the offense right now? Have they seemed to maybe find a little bit of a groove? They're getting walks, they're getting extra base hits, and obviously the ball leaving the park.
Yeah, that's I'm really excited. That's the biggest difference right now. Is like I've talked about this on here with you guys, that this offense is basically consists of 2 things. You've got your guys who get on base, and then you've got your guys who do damage. And the problem has been for a lot of the year, you had your guys getting on base, but nobody was doing damage. And now we're seeing the home run is so important in college baseball, and it's like, it's not just, I mean, obviously, yeah, you everybody loves home runs, but being able to change the game when you're going against pitching arms like you see in this conference that are going to be future pros, and stringing a bunch of hits together can be difficult, man. So when you can lead the yard and drive in 3 in one swing, it just changes things, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing other guys in the lineup, Dardar, man, he's going nuts right now. Pearson, that's a great development. Seeing him, I mean, Cerna's over 300 in conference play. We're Mason Braun, and then you've got the other guys that are still like, York is still walking a lot. He's still having really good at bats. Pearson had games where he's walked multiple times. Braun walks a good bit. So you're seeing a lot of production throughout the lineup, and it's really helped Curiel take off. Now you're starting to see Milam take off. It's not so much pressure on those guys. So I really like what this offense is, and we've seen enough. It's not like a fluke. I mean, I think it was more fluky that everybody was batting 230 for like the first, how many games. So I'm real excited about where this offense is right now.
And I know it's been fun to watch the offense, and it has taken off, it feels like, over the last, certainly on Sundays where they scored 17 runs in both games. But I don't want to say concerned, because it just seems to keep happening where LSU, and even happened again on Tuesday, where they get down in these games so early. It's 6-1, it's 7-0, and they have to battle back to continue to win. And it takes offense to be able to do that, but because it happens so early, you have time. But how can you go in and remedy that situation? Whether it's pitching and defense, because we've been talking about this defense for a while, and while Dardar has played a better second base, it's mind-numbingly difficult to comprehend what happens early in games right now.
Yeah, well, see, I see these as one-offs, okay, and I'll tell you why. Like, I'm telling you, man, like, I'm not going to believe that that's who Kason Evans is. I mean, he doesn't get hit, man. He doesn't get hit hard at all. He's given up, like, man, I just looked at this a second ago, like 3 extra base hits all year. That's ridiculous. 1 home run. So, is he a guy who doesn't have good control? Of course not. We did see that at Vandy, and then this last time he got off to a bad start, but he corrected it.
He did.
I believe in Kason Evans that he's going to pound the zone. Okay. Am I worried? Like, Gavin Guidry's not a starter. Okay. I think he was just, so do I think that's going to happen again? No, because he's not going to start games. And in the midweek, I mean, am I planning, when I'm watching that, am I worried that, Jaden Newt is going to give up runs in the SEC starting games? Of course not. He's out there we're trying to find guys. Who followed Newt? Who was it that came in after Newt the other night?
Plog.
Yeah, like Ethan Plug. Like, he's a guy right now who's been for weeks like a matchup guy, because he just walks too many people. So, like, I don't get concerned. Like, I think LSU knows who their guys are right now, and it's a good group. It really, if they're pitching in the right, like in their right role, like I believe in them. So I do not anticipate that's something that's going to continue to happen, where we're going to keep falling behind. Because again, I don't see Gavin Guidry starting many games in conference. I don't see Jade Newt starting many games in conference. So then it becomes like, look, when you're going into battle with Case and Evans and William Schmidt, do I believe in those guys? Absolutely, I do. So I know it's more than just a one-time thing, but I still think those are kind of like one-off occurrences.
And then obviously this weekend they head to Knoxville. Before we get into the specifics of the series, I just want your opinion on maybe the weight that this weekend carries, because obviously they started off a little sluggish, not sluggish, but they lose the first 2 series of SEC play. They're able to take a game in both of them and not get swept, but they lose 2 series. They maybe were also pretty close to winning. They finally get that out of the way and win an SEC series last weekend, and finally have some confidence brewing. How big of a weekend is it for LSU versus Tennessee tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday?
Not as big as last weekend. I don't think it's as big as last weekend was. I think if you lose against Kentucky, man, then yeah, this is a really, really, really big weekend. I also think it's like how you win and how you lose, and like what the way LSU's playing right now. I have a lot of confidence in them. So say they don't score any runs in that Sunday game, and so that's 2 games then that their offense is not going well.
Right.
Then I'm concerned. Okay, so it's just how they're playing. And so, yeah, I think this is a great opportunity. Like, as we transition into Tennessee, like, I think this is a great opportunity, because I think weeks ago you would have looked and said, man, if you don't win, the Oklahoma and Kentucky series, then you got to go on the road to Tennessee and Ole Miss. And then I'd love to face Tennessee and Ole Miss right now, and then get Texas A&M, who has no pitching, at home. I think this is a great 3-week span. And so, I don't think this is like this series is like, hey, you must win, because I think the next 3 series are like a perfect stretch. I mean, I'd pick like, let's go play Missouri and South Carolina if you gave me my pick. But I think this is about as good, just based on how these other teams are playing right now. I think I liked it. I like this next 3 weeks for us. But you want to win it, because I think you got some momentum right now, and you've got a real opportunity at 4 and 5 in conference. Everybody's jumbled up, so I think you got a real opportunity. But yeah, I know we'll talk more about Tennessee here in a second. But yeah, I think it's important. It's a really good opportunity, but I'm not like feeling the weight like I did, for the Kentucky series.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And speaking of Tennessee, we'll get into it now. What do you anticipate to see from the Volunteers this weekend, for anyone that maybe hasn't watched them as closely as they have in past years, because they do look a little bit different than prior. What do you anticipate from Tennessee this weekend?
Yeah, you're right, man. Typically when we talk Tennessee, we talk about a team who can really, really hit, and they can kill you with homers. They're always like a swing away from changing the scoreboard. And when you're watching LSU play Tennessee, you're like scared to death, especially at Lindsey Nelson. Okay. But that's not what this team is. LSU hits 20 points better than the Vols, and that's overall and in SEC play. And I mean, most people would probably say that LSU's offense this year has underperformed up until lately. So they hit 20 points better. LSU has out-homered Tennessee this year. When does that happen? Tennessee ranks 15th in the conference in on-base percentage. They are only better than South Carolina. You know what you can't do if you can't get guys on base? You can't score. So they are near the very bottom in that category, too, of runs scored. They have some star players. Henry Ford, the Virginia transfer, Blaine Brown, the Rice transfer. Like, those are going to be, like, top 2-round guys. But they have really underperformed in Josh Eulander's first year. Look, he was the hitting coach for all these years, so it's not like all of a sudden he can't, teach hitting. I just think they're struggling. They got guys like LSU who would have been, supposed to take a jump, and just so far they haven't. But I think I like a lot of things about this. Tennessee strikes out a lot. I mean, you look at like their starters. You've got 3 guys who strike out 30% of the time. I mean, they've got 6 starters that strike out over 25% of the time they come up to the plate in SEC play, okay? Only 2 hitters are under 25%. For comparison, LSU, they've they've got like 6 starters that are, 21% or less. So Tennessee averages 11 strikeouts per game in conference. That's a lot. And the other part is that they don't walk. Tennessee ranks 11th in bases on balls in conference. Like LSU does that well. They're second, right? Oh, for reference, Omar Cerna walks less than anyone in LSU's lineup, just under 11%. Okay, Tennessee has 6 starters who walk under 10% of 10% of the time, including 4 guys who walk under 5% of the time. So the Vols strike out a lot, and they are facing the team who strikes out more batters than anyone in the SEC. And if there's a weakness to exploit, it would be LSU's tendency to walk people, because LSU walks more than all but one team.
Right.
Well, Tennessee has not shown plate discipline. They don't take their free passes. The other thing I think Lloyd mentioned, one of the other weaknesses that you want to capitalize on when you're playing LSU is their defense. This is a turf field. This is why Tennessee fields so well right now. So, like, that advantage is dulled as well. So, these are all some real edges. Now, when you talk about pitching, Tennessee is like maybe all but 4 teams. They're just not pitching really well in conference play, which is really head-scratching this year. There's only 4 SEC teams that have ERAs under 4. All right, that's crazy. The other 12 teams are all under 5, and Tennessee's one of them. They're allowing, just over 5 earned runs per game. I do think this is one of the better pitching staffs in the league, though. I really do like them. Their numbers aren't backing it up right now, but like their 3 starters, they did something weird last week where they started a reliever and they put kind of like they took a starter and brought Coons. The guy who's been starting on Friday nights for them, Tegan Coons, he's going to be a first rounder. He missed his start last week, and they started a lefty, Brandon Arvinson, and then Coons came in like the 5th inning and dealt, kind of like they did with Chase Burns at one time. So I don't know if they do that again, but like they're 3, like Coons, Landon Mack, who we tried to get in the portal from Rutgers, and then Virginia lefty Evan Blanco. Those are really 3 really good starters. They're good. I mean, they really are. And it's a small group of like relievers, but they're good, man. They've got 2 really tough lefties. They've got a freshman that's thrown 13 scoreless SEC innings with 13 strikeouts to 1 walk. His name's Cam Appenzeller. He was one of the highest rated players to make it to campus. You're not really hitting him when he comes in the game. And then y'all have seen Brandon Arvidsson over the years. He's a lefty. He's the one that got to start last week, but he's whether he starts or in his usual bullpen role, he's tough. They got a true sidearm guy who threw 77 innings in relief, not as a starter, as a reliever last year at East Tennessee State, who was a regional team. He's tough. And then they've got some, it's a small circle. They've got 5 guys, though, who've thrown over 10 innings in conference compared to like LSU only has 2 because LSU is using more guys. So it's a small circle, but and the numbers haven't been great, but I promise I wouldn't look at that and think that, they're not a good staff, because like Kentucky wasn't bringing in guys that were like really, really impressive. Tennessee will roll guys out there that can like shut you down for a couple innings, and if you look at your stats, you're like, oh, their stats, you might think we stink, but no, they've got a good pitching staff. But again, it's a very good time to play them because, they just haven't been throwing the ball well.
Last one I've got for you from the chat. Our guy Fonz says, ask Jason, years in the past, the magic SEC win number to host a regional was 18. With teams being mid right now, what's your number, 15 to 16, question mark?
Well, there's actually been teams host at 16 wins, and usually 17 wins is more like a host. 18 wins is like a top 8 seed. If you want to be like get. So you're asking me, what do I think the number is to host a regional? Man, I don't know yet. There's a lot, because then you've got RPI matters. Right, I mean, if you remember, in 2022, LSU was 17-13 to finish the regular season, and they had to go on the road to to Southern Miss, right, to play in a regional. They won 17 games in conference that year, and that wasn't good for a regional host. But like other years, that's 100% going to get you to host. So I don't really know, to be honest with you, man. Lately, I've been looking at the schedule going, what's it going to take to get into the postseason? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many, like, will 12 get you in this year? Like, 13 should, But hopefully that's not something we have to entertain much longer. But, like, I don't know how to answer that question just yet of how many takes. But traditionally, like, 16 wins, you have a chance if your RPI is good.
Right.
Probably with the way RPI is right now for LSU, 17 is probably more realistic as a host. But yeah, there's still a lot of ball to be played.
Well, Jason, we appreciate you joining us every single Thursday and all the knowledge that you drop. So we'll make sure everybody checks you out over at Inside LSU Baseball on Twitter and on YouTube. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Yep, you too. There he is. Jason Armstrong does a great job covering LSU baseball over at Inside LSU Baseball, at Inside LSU BSBL on Twitter, and Inside LSU Baseball on YouTube. As that little tidbit right there on Tennessee. I know a lot more now about the Volunteers than I did before speaking to Jason. So we appreciate it. Make sure you go check out his content. Follow him on social media. He does a great job over there. Big weekend for the Tigers as they face Tennessee in Knoxville starting tomorrow evening. But in the midst of that interview, Christian rolled out as he's headed to the Ponderosa to check out LSU football's 5th spring practice. And if you saw some video from the last spring practice, and I think I put this in the document, that Trey Green video is via LSU football as they put it out. On Twitter, he's an absolute freak. And maybe, if I'm going to really try to deduce, I would assume the black jersey means maybe light contact.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would like to just say, screw that, and what it means is it's the just different jersey. And number 14 gets to put it on because he's just a little bit different than everybody else out there. And just watching this as well as the Jabari Mack catch. But look, here's big 14 right here. Great defense by Spears. Great ball by whoever threw it. And, of course, just put that thing up there for 14. Like, this is what we say when sometimes it really is just that simple. Like, just throw him the ball. This is Deshaun Spears. I mean, look at that. And he lands back on his feet and runs. Like when we say sometimes it is just that simple, sometimes it is just as simple as throwing the football to 14 and watching what happens. And to me, two of the most intriguing pieces of this offense, obviously him and then Harlem Berry. And the reason why I say they're the most intriguing, because there are so many new faces, and I'm choosing two guys that have been here and we've watched them, but it's because I think the way that they're going to be used by this offensive staff is the most intriguing aspect. Because you look at the running back room, you've got a Caden Durham in addition to Harlem. You've got Dylan Jones they've brought in who looks like an absolute tank out on the field. And I think they're going to throw the ball to Harlem so much. And with Trey Dez, they're splitting him off the line. He's never at the end line, into the line of scrimmage, and he's off in the slot. And both of those guys are going to be such key weapons for Lane Kiffin in his first year at LSU. And that's why they were so important to bring back, because they are going to be elite weapons. Like, I mean, look at the catch 14 makes right there. Look at Trey Green just go up, tower up, and get it. I mean, Deshaun Spears is a really good safety. And if you watch the video, that's pretty good coverage. But when you're built like that and you're Trey Green, sometimes those things just don't matter. And I think it's going to be very, very exciting to watch this offense this season. And that's where I think the conversation can kind of turn, because there's an article put out, and I think a lot of this has to do with the offense. Because defensively, You brought back Blake Baker. You've got continuity. You know a lot of the pieces there. There's not a lot of moving and shaking. You just kind of plugged and filled some holes. But on 3, Wilson Alexander put out a report. Shout out to Wilson. 2 claps for Wilson. Ready. As he is now part of On 3. Great move by On 3. But it says LSU planned to spend $25 to $30 million on its roster, but it ended up at $40 million plus after Lane Kiffin sold his vision. One LSU donor said, and I quote, "Why not win in year 1? You don't build stuff over 3-4 years anymore." And he's not wrong. It's go do it now. We have the chance and the opportunity to do it now. Do it. And I think that, in addition to a quote he had in last week's press conference, have kind of created a little bit of a stir, a little bit of a conversation, because he did give an answer that included the word patience. And so a lot of people look and go, well, why are you talking about patience when there's been $40+ million put in? And I think when you listen to the answer, we'll obviously discuss it and what he said in regards to patience. Especially to me, what I believe he's talking about is the offense. He discusses that, and that was from last week's press conference. And I think I put it in the document too, was the clip of him discussing that word. And it's a word that you don't want to hear when there's $40 million attached to your program, right? When you look at a roster, you go, we just spent $40 million. What do you mean be patient, right? I just spent... Like, say, I'm buying a car, and I spend $4 million on the car, but they're like, but hey, you can't drive it yet. Like, you just got to wait on it a little bit, and then you'll be able to drive it. Well, that's not what I spent $4 million on. I want to drive the car. I want to go fast. You're telling me I got to wait? And I think that's some people's reaction to this answer. Here's Lane Kiffin talking about patience in his press conference last week.
Things don't happen overnight. It takes a lot of work to get a program up to an elite performing program level. And so we're making some first steps, but there's a ton of work to do. And like I said before, we've assembled a good roster, but at the same time too, there's a ton of work that goes into that to get the program back up to where everybody around here wants it to be, and the reason that we came here. It was 7-6 last season. So within that comes change. Within that comes a lot of work, because that's a long jump to go to the level that I came here to get at, and all the people around the program want to be at. So it was good. Things don't.
So look, like I said, I understand how someone could hear that answer and go, what do you mean patience? What do you mean it take a while? What like all those questions? And look, I get it. I understand why that would be the reaction, but I do think there's an interesting piece of context to that quote is he's not talking about 3-4 years of patience. Like, he's not talking about, hey, this first year, don't put too much stock into it, because he can't say that because of why?
$40 million.
$40 million, right? Like, I mean, so there is no wait and see over a stretch of years. So I don't think that's what he's saying. What I take it as is, like, understand there are going to be growing pains. Like, it's going to happen. And to me, I think he's saying it about the offense.
No doubt.
You brought him in
to
because
change.
he's an offensive guy, and what was it last year?
Bad.
Real bad.
Real bad.
It was disgusting, even, you could say. And so you bring him in to change that side of the ball. But the caveat is, and he talked about it when he spoke on Tuesday, they're an expansion team on that side of the ball. They've just collected talent from all these. Like, I think I could name the players that they kept that played on the offense last year. Weston Davis, Braylon Moore, Tradez Green, Harlan Berry, Caden Durham. They kept Phillip Wright, but he didn't play as a freshman.
One catch.
They kept a handful of offensive linemen that are younger, but they didn't play all that much. Right? So you didn't keep a lot. You overhauled that side of the ball. So the patience aspect, to me, is offense specific. But what I will say is that doesn't mean you're going to lose. And the reason I say that is because bringing Blake Baker back bought you some growing pain games. So maybe when you first trot out there against Clemson, you're not going to be a 38-point offense. Maybe. You might be. But I think when you get out on the spring practice field and you look at it, then you realize, okay, we do have a long way to go. Our starting quarterback is only throwing, jogs around a little bit, but isn't going 11 on 11. We're still building connections as an offensive line, trying to mesh well. At wide receiver, they're just now catching passes from these quarterbacks for the first time ever in their life. And so you look at it and you go, okay, well, it might not be the elite top 5 offense week number 1. But when you have an elite, potentially top 10 defense on the other side, it may buy you a little time to go, well, actually, we only need 28 points week number 1 because the defense is going to hold the other team to 17, right? And week 2 and week 3. And so then you can grow. And so I don't think he's saying patience as in losses. And I also think he's saying it from a program overview. If they want to get this back to being an elite program, 1 year of lightning in a bottle doesn't do that. I mean, if we look at Coach O's time at LSU, 2017 through 2021. There was a 2-year span. They were a winning program, right? Because 2017, you lose to Troy. You get throttled by Mississippi State. Like you still won more than you lost, but you weren't that good. Right? Now 2018 and 2019, you real good. 2020, 2021, real bad. Right? So you weren't a winning program, but you did catch a little bit of lightning in a bottle when you got a guy from Ohio to come play quarterback for you and ended up being the best thing to ever happen in any of our lives. All right? So what Lane Kiffin's saying is it takes time to build a winning program, not just catch lightning in a bottle. And they're trying to build a winning program, not just win this year. But I do think the pressure's on to win this year, and I understand why that answer could rub people the wrong way. And I think where Lane has an advantage is he kept Blake Baker. And that's a credit to him for making that decision to do so, because what that did was it accelerated the timeline, and it also gives them the ability to grow as an offense and over time mesh and bond. And I think it might not look, like I said, the last couple of days we've been out at practice, the quarterbacks have underthrown some guys. The timing has been off with receivers.
That's all expected.
But that's, like you said, it's normal. They just got here. They dapped up for the first time 2 months ago. So, of course, it's not going to be, oh.
The only real concern about this is you're having to wait. You talk about not being able to drive the $4 million car.
Right.
Well, you're not able to use the $4 million player because Sam Leavitt is not going to be as involved in being able to run the offense when he is undoubtedly your starting quarterback. And you saw what that looked like last year when you had a quarterback that was involved in spring and fall camp and then inevitably was never healthy. So that's the one thing that, because of the way Lane's talked about quarterback play in the past and how it's the point guard of his offense, and if he doesn't understand how to get the ball to certain players or what to do in the play call, the offense doesn't work.
Yeah.
And he's like, it goes as the quarterback goes. So that's the only thing that you saw more of Sam Leavitt maybe than you thought you would, but once this thing will only be decided by the time he gets healthy.
100%.
And I like what they did with bringing in Longstreet and Clark, and that's all great. He's not the $5 million man that you brought in that you've seen perform at Arizona State.
Make a playoff run.
And the things that he does well, it requires his feet.
Yeah.
And so it is a great fit for our Lane Kiffin offense that you've seen him utilize quarterbacks that have Sam Leavitt's skill set previously. But it is all about health at this point to make sure that he can be the point guard of this offense, because there's a story of Lane Kiffin, so he gets fired from USC, right? He is brought in to look over the Alabama offense. And this is when Doug Nussmeier was the coordinator for Alabama.
Yeah.
And he was there for 6 days. And at the end of it, they say, well, Lane, what did you see? Like, what do you see from the offense that, how can we fix this? He walks up to the whiteboard, and he writes number 2, number 4, number 9, 27, and 88. Because those are your best players. You don't get them the ball enough. It's pretty simple. So this was when it was DeAndre White, T.J. Yeldon, Amari Cooper, Derrick Henry, and O.J. Howard.
Pretty good eye for talent.
Yep.
If memory serves me correct,
so he's going to want to do the same thing?
I hated my life when we played those guys.
Mm-hmm. T.J. Yeldon had an indelible impact on me.
A lot of bad O.J. Howard memories, too.
But it goes on to, so this is under Nuss's offense. Amari Cooper, sophomore year. As a freshman, he had 14 more catches, 7 more touchdowns, nearly 300 more yards. So he had the sophomore slump, whatever. When Lane came in, Amari Cooper, 124 catches, 79 more than the previous season, 16 touchdowns, and 1,700 yards receiving. Nearly 1,000 more than the previous year.
Do you remember who his quarterback was?
Was it Blake Sims?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's...
But that's what he's going to do.
Right. And that...
Which is actually really smart.
It's actually very smart.
Because the players that you just named for LSU that are coming back.
Right.
Caden Durham, Harlan Berry.
Right. I mean, even Phillip Wright.
Trey Desreet, sure.
And so to me...
But even if they didn't bring in 6 new wide receivers, and that'll pan out however it pans out, he wouldn't got the guys that he wanted, and you have to trust him implicitly to have what they all have yards per catch of over 15, and they're going to be able to spread the defense. This team is going to do, however Sam Leavitt does it, Lane's ability to run the football, which I think is very much undervalued, and then how you use Trey Desreet and Harlan Berry, Caden Durham.
Agreed. And I think that's the patience aspect of it is, and the benefit of Blake Baker in this defense is Sam Leavitt is not going to be just dumped into the fire and go, you have to carry this thing right away.
Yeah, we don't have anything on the other side of the football. You're that might be better defensively.
Right. And so you're going to be that as good as I expect them to be defensively. And so it's like, okay, I don't have to score every drive down. We don't have to score 38.
And Lane's never been in that spot,
right.
Really.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be...
Usually when that happens, that's when he loses football games.
Yeah.
If his offense isn't clicking or he's getting stopped, that's when it gets very dicey for him in previous tenures, but I don't think he's ever had a defensive coordinator. They can say Pete Golding if they like.
Yeah.
I would take Blake Baker every day of the week and twice on Saturday.
Yeah, and so I think... I just thought that the quote had been taken out of context by some people, and I understood why. I mean, when you hear the word patience, when $40 million has been invested, you're going to go, no.
But he's not talking about the players.
No.
He's talking about the system. That's what I'm
talking about.
You think they're just going to come out there?
The meshing of it all.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work for this thing to happen, and that's what this spring window is. That's what summer and getting out
so
there
much
and throwing.
time.
And I was talking to Buddy the other day, Buddy Sanji, legend.
Spicy.
I was like, look, the way I feel about this team right now is going to be very different than how I feel about it when we're standing back here in August. Because I would assume it's going to look a lot different. And so I'm excited. But this is the benefit of bringing in Lane Kiffin, same with men's basketball, Will Wade, is you're excited about it, right? There's no way you're not looking forward to it.
Oh,
This was the part you lost with BK. Expectations were still high. But excitement was not as high.
No.
As of right now, you've got expectations and you've got excitement, and they're both booming ahead of the 2026 football season.
Know if we'd be talking about spring practice if it was Brian Kelly.
And I think that
it wouldn't be very positive, I can tell you that.
The coolest part about it is that when we talk about this team, we are talking about defense so much.
That's what we would talk about.
Of course. But
like Blake Baker's going to be your next head coach.
It wouldn't be a surprise if the roles were different. But now it's a Lane Kiffin run program. We're talking about defense. Yeah. And that's the part that's exciting, man. I mean, you see it. H-Town says the defense will be nasty. Fonz, defense is going to win us games this year. Actually win it. No, I mean they've got talent over there, man, and I'm really excited about it. Christian will be out there. He's going to get a good look at the wide receivers, as obviously they're going to be a key part of this offense. for Lane Kiffin in 2026. We appreciate all of you starting your morning with us and hanging out with us every single morning. We will do a show tomorrow. It is Good Friday.
He is risen.
And it'll be Happy Good Friday to all of you. But we'll be live. We'll be here. We want to spend Good Friday with you. Get you ready for LSU versus Tennessee tomorrow night.
This is The Rock.
Good Friday? No.
Oh, this is the bad one.
This is the bad day. But it's the Good Friday. Because Sunday doesn't happen without Friday. But the Rock was Sunday.
What's that? Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday.
And the Masters next week.
There you go. And so we'll do that. We'll knock that all
How
out
did it get
tomorrow.
deemed Good Friday?
Do what?
How did it get deemed a Good Friday? It seems like a bad day.
Well, because ultimately it was good. Good came from it, so it was Good Friday.
I don't think Jesus would call it that. I mean, only one person had to do all the work. It probably wasn't the best day. It wasn't no Good Friday for him.
Bigger picture, Lloyd. Big picture.
I'm just saying if he got it.
Sunday doesn't happen without Friday.
It wasn't Good Wednesday for Jay Johnson yesterday.
But if he gets paid, he'll look at it as a pretty good Wednesday. Would you not? If the money comes through, then you go, you know what? That was a good Wednesday because the job doesn't get done without it.
Why have you forsaken me, Verge?
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us every single morning. It's been really fun. The last couple of weeks have been awesome. And look, we've got some exciting things on the horizon that we're really fired up about. Yes, huh? Oh, yeah. Because, look, I mean, there's a lot of things moving and shaking around LSU. There really wasn't a better time for us to start this, I really don't think. When I start to look back at it, we timed it up quite well because a lot of things have transpired, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys.
I was actually talking to somebody about this in terms of like, oh, how's it going, whatever. And I was thinking, it's actually pretty crazy when we did this, like this whole year has been national championship.
Yep.
Brian Kelly fired. Bad football season. There's no bones about that. But it led to, that's a good season. Now,
Right.
Love that. Good Saturday. A&M, thank you. So you get a Brian Kelly firing. You get the most Lane Kiffin drama ever. And he comes to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Like, regardless, even the conversations around that and then the way it all plays out, incredible. Basketball stinks. So you fire your coach, and you get the one coach that nobody thought you could ever get again. Do it. You have Will Wade. Oh, baseball drama. It's wild.
It sure has been. And the relationships we have with building Fox. You guys, like I said, I mean, it would not have been possible without the buy-in that everyone that watches this show has shown since day number one. I mean, since we made the announcement, hey, guess what? We're going to break off, separate from that, and start our own thing. Couldn't have done it without y'all, and y'all are still here. And we appreciate it. And obviously, Southern Regional for taking a chance on us as well, allowing us to shack up here in their office. They've been awesome. Look, they've been great.
Life-changing, I would say.
100%.
It has changed my life.
And so make sure you go check out Southern Regional Medical Center, all their social medias as well. Make sure they feel the support that they give to us because, I mean, without Jason, Charles, BJ, Kevin, we literally wouldn't. Like, because the other studio we were in, we were going to have to get out of at some point, so then we were going to have to figure out where to be, and we just so happened to find, hopefully, our forever home. So we'll go 13 for 13 and close it out here on this Thursday morning. Like
Bloody
we said,
Thursday?
We will be live tomorrow on Good Friday. We'll still bring you a show tomorrow morning to recap practice from today as Christian's out there on the Ponderosa. We'll talk about that. We'll also have... I think players meet with the media after, so we'll have some sound bites from some other players as well. And, of course, get you ready for LSU baseball this weekend.
If Christian could ask one question. To
Lane Kiffin or two players?
To Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
What do you think he would ask? No, he gets a free pass.
He would ask about the playlist, 100%. He would ask about the practice media. He has not stopped bringing it up. It was the first thing. I call him after practice on Tuesday. And I go, yo, Chrissy, what did you see? Like, what did you see? I appreciate the videos you sent. I'm going to get those posted. But, like, I'm going to talk about this in the morning. I'll read what some other people say, but I want to know from you. And also, this is where I decide if I'm going to let him speak in the microphone about practice.
Right.
What did you see yesterday at practice?
Oh.
I tell you what, I just don't understand the playlist, Noah. And I was like,
never mind.
Here we go. No, you're not going to get and he ended up not even showing up. But I was like, it took me to see other people's videos to find out Trey Green was in a black jersey.
This surprises me at none.
I know. Like, I remember whenever I was first going to practice as the intern, it was like, okay, who's in a yellow jersey, who's in a no contact thing, who's off to the side, who doesn't have pads on. You look at that, you look who maybe is missing.
Not only
then
that,
you watch what's happening.
Where are the best players?
Right.
I would like to find out where Trey Green is.
Yep. But that's okay. Hey,
But he would
I'm
ask. I'm starting to wonder. I don't know how much Christian likes LSU sports. He likes the Pelicans. You can tell the fervor with which he talks about it. He loves the Saints. You can tell when he talks about it.
Yeah, but see, that's also part of what I like about Christian is I know that he's doing this because he enjoys this.
Oh yeah, he likes you more than LSU.
Like he enjoys being with us and talking with us and doing the.
He is 1,000% minied his way into your life.
Oh, he has infiltrated
your friends.
My friends.
He's in your friend group.
He's just won them over.
Because was it last week where he's like, "Hey, what are we doing? What are we doing
tonight?
What are we doing?"
Well, because and this is the thing, right? Obviously, me and my friends
hang out a lot.
Older, we hang out once a week, the whole thing. But most of my friends are in their careers. They're doing the jobs. They're blue collar, so it's long days of work, the whole thing. They're having to deal with all these they're having to adult, right? Mm-hmm. And so then in comes Chrissy and his roommate Luke, and they are 20 and 21-year-old college students that
don't
have a care in the world right now, and rightfully so. They are allowed to do that. They're juniors in college. Don't have a care. Enjoy it. And so it's like this breath of fresh air when they come around. It's like to be that again. And literally, we'll hang out without them, and we'll be like, it's kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'll sit back and just watch them do
anything. It's like when
be idiots.
When you get a puppy for your older dog.
Yeah.
Oh, I still got a little tail to me.
Oh yeah, I'll still run around a little bit.
Yeah. Let me give him a little. I still got some steps.
Oh. Here we go. Let's see. What do we have here?
Goose egg 0.
Yep.
Let's
see. Goose egg 0.
That's all I had.
Hold up right there. Go. Yeah. Jump rope.
Give it a little pre.
See, I was going to say 0 Duke Celtics is Jason Tatum, but I don't know what else would be Tatum.
Kobe.
The Rangers, the Nets, the Knicks, and the Liberty are all New York professional teams.
It's just missing what I don't know what. These are all different phrases for
pancake, coffee, hash browns,
breakfast.
And I guess this is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are the Jays. So I was right. It's Jason Tatum. Yeah.
Everything around them feels a little suspicious.
Ivo, not his fault. Falls on Noah that he trusts him to know what to do without telling him what's actually expected. Well, I mean, if you want me to really clarify, so instead of coming at me saying it's my fault, I actually, when Christian first became an intern, I actually walked him through practice, allowed him to follow me, and told him how to do it. And ultimately he did a good job the first couple of times. But he's gotten comfortable. He's maybe not been as...
he's a political guy now.
And so his focus hadn't been there. That's okay. He still does a good job. The videos are still excellent. He does what's asked of him more so than actually pay attention. That's okay. That's okay. But this is Ryan Gosling and Dreyfus. What's her name?
Yeah, Julia Gould.
I have taught Christian and told Christian how to actually do it. If we're going to be completely honest.
Who was the man? The liability.
Ryan Gosling. In 2019.
This is Michael Thomas.
Yeah, it is. It's okay. There you go, Ivo. Back to Chris. He's an idiot. Much better. Nah, I wasn't coming at you. I was just making sure everyone knew. I mean, trust me. I don't leave a lot of stones unturned.
Oh, yeah, the twins. Right?
I have no idea.
Hey, hold on. I always like to check the chat.
I trust you on this one.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm right.
Do it. That's okay. That's all right. Still trust you. Soccer, of course. No Christian. Oh, is this Italy? I just saw they didn't make the World Cup.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's Italy. You know what? I believe in myself.
Nice.
Let's go. Just saw that on Twitter the other day. Thank the heavens.
Ugh.
After Boston, what is the most populated city in Massachusetts? I don't think I know another city in Massachusetts. I think Boston.
Don't like this question because I don't know. What else is in like?
I think Boston's the only city I know in Massachusetts. And I understand that makes
Montauk?
me. I understand that makes me an idiot, but genuinely, it's the only city in Massachusetts that I know. Worcester. Yep.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have gotten that one. W-O-R.
Worcester. Water.
Paktika. Coming in cheese and peanut butter varieties, Bits have this mini sandwich cracker from what major cracker brand? That would be Ritz. You can get a Ritz Bits.
Ritz Carlton. Carlton Banks.
Carlton Banks. If you could see into the future, you might think life would be a breeze. Our lyrics from this theme song.
Oh, That's So Raven.
Ah, great show. You could gaze into the future. Bang. Movies. Bang. James Spader voiced the villain. This would be. So is it the Marvel film? Mm-hmm. This would be Avengers: The Age of Ultron. He voiced Ultron.
James Spader's such a nerd.
Ultron was awesome though. He did a good job. #1 hit and Grammy winner. This is Harry Styles.
This is about cum, right? Boy cum?
This would be Harry Styles did this song. Watermelon Sugar. Hi. There you go. Should me and you do a mock
Double
draft?
dip?
Oh, we should double dip. And what team is it?
I don't know.
Let's see if Johnny L got it. Johnny L, need ya. This is MLB. Come on. Here we go, Johnny L. Hey, I'm proud of myself on this one.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. But needed that. The Rockies.
I don't remember that. That's okay.
As Lloyd types this in, I want to give a shout out to the little brother. Talked about him a good bit yesterday. Gave him a hard time. It's his birthday day. Turned 19. Little Max.
What's the celebration? We're going to Chuck E. Cheese, Charles Edward Cheese's?
I don't know what the celebration is.
I read that Chuck E. Cheese actually, like there's these things called ghost restaurants that you see on like DoorDash and shit. That like you don't really know where they are, but you can dash from them, and apparently a lot of it's come from Charles E. Cheese.
Wow. Like
the kitchen's working, which would make sense because they don't really, and nobody wants to order from Chuck E. Cheese. Right. Which every time I see the pizza, looks good. It looks like bowling alley pizza.
My memories of the pizza are all positive.
Great. Yeah, and they do. I feel like they do eat the pizzas and take the old pizzas that people didn't eat and put them back together, and then I'm fine with that.
Maybe so. Hey, Sabrion's sister. Happy birthday to her as well.
Oh, nice.
Appreciate everyone. Max will appreciate the birthday wishes.
Happy birthday, Max.
There you go. But
such an odd pairing, you two.
What you mean?
I mean,
because he's just so quiet and laid back and kept to himself.
He did say hey to me.
He's becoming more talkative as he's getting older. The reason is, when he was younger, growing up, he had a very, very high and soft voice. Like, it was, like, even into, like, his freshman year of high school. Like, it was, like, in middle school, his voice was extremely, like, Like it sounded like a baby voice, like genuinely.
That's cute.
And so
I bet the girls loved it.
he was very embarrassed of it. He didn't like that he had a baby voice.
So
It
wasn't the classic. I don't like the way that I sound, and people are like, you don't sound like that.
No, he did sound like that.
Oh, Max.
It was rough. It was rough. So that's why he's not as talkative. But he's becoming more comfortable now that he's turning into an actor. Because he was not only did he was also very small.
I mean, that was very he's big.
He is. Yep.
The deep voice.
Yep.
And a tattoo.
Yeah.
What? And he's 19.
He's 19, man. It is crazy that he's 19. Like, makes me feel
Yeah, this is what
old.
See, it was the other way for me.
Of course.
When Sean started to hit like some, I guess, age numbers before me, it's like,
right.
And it wasn't like 21. It was like when you hear like 26 for the first time, you're like, oh.
Yeah. Well, see, that's how it is for me because I see both sides of the spectrum here. Like because me and Cassie's birthdays are right by each other. I was born on the 24th. Her birthday's 26th of May.
She's 2 years older than you?
2 years older than me, yep. And so, like, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they asked about it. I was like, well, she's about to turn 26. And I was like, oh, that means I'm about to be 24.
Yeah. And Max is like, you're only 19.
And then Max is...
Like, it's so much life to live.
Oh, my gosh.
Think about what happened to you from 19 to 24.
I know. You met me at 18.
Uh-huh. That's what I was thinking. Life is that he's got all of that. Well, I don't think he'll go the route you went.
No.
What's he gonna major in?
He's majoring in mechanical engineering. He is going through the ringer school wise. Like last week I was talking to him. He had a physics, calculus, and chemistry tests all like back to back to back, and I was like, Coach,
can he do that?
That is tough. What do you mean?
Is he smart?
Yeah, he passed all of them. I was like, good for you, man.
Because my roommate was. I think it was mechanical engineering, and there was times where you didn't see him for a month.
Yeah,
like once you get into it, he's like, I should not have done this.
And good
for too far.
And good on Max because I'll ask him if he wants to come, come to stuff, like whether it's hang out with my buddies or go to a baseball game or something.
You got Chrissy instead.
He'll be like, no, I got to do school, and I'll be like, well, good for you, because if invited to something, I'd be like, yeah, school, I'll figure it out. I'll do it later.
Well, it's not mechanical engineering.
No, it was journalism, and it was not that at all.
Oh, man.
What?
I mean, how does this even happen?
Oh, gosh. But happy birthday, Max. 19 years old.
Happy birthday, Max.
19 years old. Remember the day you were born, buddy?
I don't.
I really don't either. I was 4.
Yeah. You're like, oh, fuck.
I remember when Mom and Dad first told us. I was pissed.
Oh, yeah. Here's the 2%.
Wow. Yeah, what do we...
Or you die?
Who's not renewing their tickets?
I hate Lane Kiffin.
You kidding me?
You probably did that early.
I'm pissed they didn't bring back Kelly.
Yeah. Or they did it after the A&M game. Like, I'm canceling.
Maybe. And it'll be more of a, you gotta prove me something. You know, like they'll renew them when they hear good reports from spring camp.
But you didn't renew. Are you like at the back of the queue now?
Yeah, I would assume.
That would suck.
That's probably why they're like, well, there's no use now.
For somebody, 2 lucky people.
Yeah.
How much is a percent?
Well, it depends how many.
So what's 1% of 100 and?
What's 1% of 100?
And 4,000.
I mean, 1% of 100,000 would be
10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, something else.
Trying to do math. I haven't done math in a long time.
I'd call Max.
Yeah, mechanical engineering. I think it would be
100.
1,000.
1,000.
It'd be 1,000. Yeah.
So 2,000 people would renew.
Yeah, basically. That sucks. That would suck. I applied for season tickets for men's basketball. I was one of those 700 that requested it.
How much do those cost?
I don't know. I'll see. If it's too much, then I'll just be like, I'll just
get a credential.
I'll just get credentialed.
Oh, Connor Griffin is promoting. Got promoted
to the Pirates.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean though? Promoted to big time?
Yeah, he's a freaking stud. You saw Kate Anderson starting in AA.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He'll be in the
Making his debut today.
bigs. He'll be in the bigs soon enough.
I wonder if Connor Griffin would have played this year. He would have played short.
I mean, was it this? No, his freshman year was last year.
He wouldn't have played short.
He'd probably play second.
Or he wouldn't play center.
No, he probably would have played
I wonder if they would have moved Milam to
maybe
second.
right. Well, kept Milam at second because he was at second prior.
But there's no way Connor Griffin's better than him defensively.
No. Also, he could have been a third. I don't know, but it would have been crazy had he made it to campus because he is.
That's good.
And I mean, like, just look at him.
Yeah, that's
an 18-year-old. He looks like a full-grown man.
He's a full-grown man.
That's worked at the plant his whole life.
And he runs like a deer.
But I would assume he's probably
Rookie of the Year plus 200.
probably would have played second or third.
All right.
We appreciate you guys. We'll be back
We'll mock it tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning. Yeah, we'll mock draft tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 to 10. We'll see you then.
Happy birthday, Max.
Happy birthday, Max.
Lap dance.
Love you, buddy. No.
Yeah.
Mom's